Hey everybody, welcome back to the Democrates channel. Today, we're gonna go back into the dating realm and talk a little bit more about dating. Specifically, we're gonna be talking about the dating economy and how things become marketable in the dating economy. Something that I have seen a lot of people complaining about recently is that they can't get a girlfriend or they can't get a boyfriend, whatever it may be, whatever your situation may be, and they just can't seem to figure out why they can't find a relationship. So in my previous video, I focused a little bit about time availability and visibility availability for both men and women, and why that's starting to prevent people from being able to form long-term relationships. But this time, I'm going to be talking about things that are a little bit more personal to you specifically, and why it might be stopping you from being able to find a relationship partner. So the thing I really want to focus on right now is the concept of dating marketability and why that's important. That's important because it determines how able you are to attract somebody to be with you. This applies to young men and applies to young women. You're both going to get your turn in today's video. And I want to talk a little bit about highlighting some of the common complaints that both sides seem to face in the dating market right now, and how we can kind of dispel some of these issues that people seem to be facing. So issue number one is being the table. I'm going to focus on the young ladies first. A lot of young women nowadays, when they're asked what they bring to the table as far as prospective relationships go, they'll often say, I am the table. They are just a void that receives things that are being provided to them rather than provide something to a relationship. And then they're wondering why they're not able to attract anybody to be in a relationship with. This is because you aren't marketable. Let's assume, just like I do in all of my videos, a normal distribution of dating marketability and mate attractiveness. If we assume a normal distribution, which we should, it'll be on a bell curve. So 63-ish% of people are going to be 4, 5, or 6s. That's just how it is. Likely, if I'm talking to you, you are a 4, a 5, or a 6. That's a vast majority of the people in the population entirely. So if we assume that everybody is a 4, 5, or 6, and I'm not going to get into what makes somebody what, I'm just assuming a normal distribution here. If you are a 4, 5, or 6, you are less marketable than somebody that is a 10. As a man, if I were a 10, I would be able to pretty much get away with doing whatever the fuck I wanted, and people would still find me extremely attractive to be in a relationship with. The reality of the situation is, I'm nowhere near a 10. Let's be real here. I'm not smacking up the honeys every single night, you know? But I think that I do have a little bit to talk about here when it comes to marketability and the approach that I would typically recommend young people, young women, young men taking to dating if their goal is to find a long-term relationship. So this idea that women are the table comes from this idea that being a woman entitles you to just being with a partner, being in a healthy relationship, and being loved by the person that you're with. You are not entitled to any of those things. Man, woman, anything in between. You're not entitled to any of those things that I just mentioned. You aren't. You have to work on yourself, and you have to make yourself marketable enough in order to sell yourself on the market. Okay? So let's take these concepts that sound a little bit harsh, admittedly, and apply them to relationships and dating. Think of a product. If you are trying as a business to sell a product to customers, are you going to make a product that appeals to your target market, or are you going to make a product that does not appeal to your target market? The correct answer, obviously, if you're not being a smartass, is that you're going to make a product that appeals to your target market. Your target market, in this case, is the person that you want to be in a relationship with. You need to make sure that you are able to bring to the table the things that they want, and you need to make sure that they are able to bring to the table the things that you want. This is where the marketability comes in. Let's take a young woman, for example, who says that she is the table. She is not bringing anything else other than being a void that you put benefits into. Whereas the marketable woman will say, I have these skills to bring to the table. I have this knowledge to share with you. I have this amount of stability, and I can provide safety to you in this way, shape, or form. Seems good to me. Okay? Those are things that make you more marketable. Being the table is not good enough. If you want to elevate yourself from a 4, 5, or 6 to a higher rating, makes me feel icky. But if you want to elevate yourself to a higher rating as a woman and make yourself more marketable, you need to improve yourself. You need to have skills that you've developed. You need to have experiences that are valuable that you can share. You need to be committed. You need to provide some form of safety and security to the person that you're trying to attract. And those things increase your rating as a potential dating partner, which makes you more marketable. It means that your target demographic, you're appealing to them more. You're going to get more sales. Now let's flip over and talk about young men. It's your turn. While women have being the table, young men have, but I'm so nice. And by that, what I mean is that you have a lot of young men out here who want to be identified as the provider in a relationship. And it seems to me that a lot of times that presents itself for young men in the form of saying, well, I'm a man, so I'm a provider. But that's just not true. And let's be real. All of us have one homie who cannot get a girlfriend, okay? And that one homie, every single time he confusedly rambles on and on and on and on and on about how he can't get a girlfriend, always talks about, I just don't know why I can't get a girlfriend. I'm so nice. Why can't I get one? I'm so nice. But I'm so nice. Why can't I get a girlfriend? Because that is the bare minimum expectation. You aren't marketable. If you can't sit down and come up with a list of skills and reasons why you are appealing as a partner, you aren't appealing as a partner. When you see an ad for a product, it lists all the things that you want to know about the product. If your only thing that you're bringing to the table in a relationship as your advertisement is, I'm nice, no one will be interested. You aren't marketable. You aren't talking about your skills, your assets, your knowledge, your opinions on political issues. You need to bring those things to the table. You need to have competent communication and discussion with the person that you're trying to attract as a partner. Just like men get upset when women say, I am the table, women are going to get upset when you just say, I'm a provider or I'm nice, you should be with me. Those are non-factors. Those are minimum expectations. Everybody is nice. You aren't setting yourself apart from the competition. You need to go work out and be strong, go work more and have money so that you can provide financial support. You need to have a more stable home life. You need to do all of these kinds of things to bring that to the table and provide that. You need to work on yourself and get to a point where you can advertise more about yourself than just simply, I'm nice, I'm a provider, because that doesn't do anything. Women are going to look at you like you're a total fucking goober if the only thing that you bring to the table is that you're nice. Nobody cares that you're nice. And that isn't to say that you should be mean or you should be an asshole or even that you should be overly nice. It simply means that nice is the minimum expectation, and that if you're not nice, you ain't getting nothing nowhere. And if you are overly nice, you're gonna be a pushover. being nice is nothing. It's just like, it's not even sprinkles on top is what I would normally say, but it's not even sprinkles on top. No one cares that you're nice. Stop even bringing it up, because if you had more to bring to the table other than just being nice or I'm a provider, you wouldn't bring up that you're nice or a provider. You would tell me about yourself. And I know that this is an interesting thing for young men where they struggle with this, because if I went to any of their homies or I was introducing them to one of my homies and I asked them, hey, tell them a little bit about yourself, you are going to have a laundry list of shit to talk about, right? But when you go and talk to a girl, why are you all shy to tell her all of the things that make you a cool, interesting dude? It's weird, man. I don't know why men do this. Men will willingly go out on a date that they're really excited for and then tell the woman that they're on a date with absolutely nothing about themselves. And women do the same thing. You're not off the hook. You all go out there and don't tell the men anything about your fucking selves. I don't know what's up with that. This is an issue with both genders. But at the same time, in particular with young men, I find it interesting because they want to have this visage of being some big, strong provider fella, but at the same time, they don't bring anything or tell you about anything that they can provide during this date. They don't talk about themselves hardly at all outside of saying that they're nice, and then they don't even have like an idea of interests that they want to talk about. Let me put it to you this way. I would consider you more marketable as a dating prospect if you went to the date with this woman and you told her about the most kick-ass fucking video game moment you've ever had with the homies, where you're screaming and that shit's like a flashback for you and you're shell-shocked. That would be more appealing than just saying you're nice. You at least have an interesting story. Have some charisma to yourself. Talk about yourselves. I think that men, they're too shelled in. The walls, guys, they're up too high. You're taking things too seriously. Let the walls down a little bit. Share some personal stories. You're more than just a nice guy. You're more than just a provider of financial stability. You're more than that. So tell these women that you're more than that. They aren't going to know if you don't tell them. And you don't get to be upset if you're not telling them why you are an appealing dating prospect. You need to tell them that. They aren't going to stick around and just find out. Just like a customer won't just stick around and buy your product if you don't tell them why they should. Companies have advertisements to tell you about their products and get you to buy them. Just like you need to come up with an advertisement that you're going to tell women that you go on a first date with so that you can try and attract them to be in a relationship with you. And that's really all there is to it. This is my concept of marketability in the dating world. And I think that people need to take more of a, man, I hate to say it like this, a less human approach to dating, to marketing themselves to partners. You need to think of yourself more like a product that needs to be sold and less like a person, because you need to accept the fact that to that other person, you're just a stranger. You're a nobody. It would be like walking into the store, seeing a new product on the shelf, you don't know what it is, and there's no label on it. You're gonna just walk right past it. You need to put a label on yourself. You need an identity. You are more than being nice. I refuse to believe that every one of you that are listening is just nice, or just the table, or any of these things. I refuse to believe it. You owe it to yourself to do better and come up with the things that make you who you are, make you have your own identity, and make you attractive to other people. I don't care if it seems nerdy, or you're into video games, or you're really into some weird offshoot hobby. Tell them about it. That is at least interesting. That is at least a story. People connect by telling stories to one another. So start doing it. Practice. I don't care if you have to stand in front of a mirror, classic, old school style, and start going to yourself, yeah, you know what? You're strong. You're this. You need to form an identity. And until you can form your own identity as a human being, honestly, you're not going to attract a relationship partner. You're just not going to. You need to come up with ways to make your personality seem nice and cool and appealing. You need to have interests that don't have to do with being nice and dating women and being a provider. You need to come up with these things. You have to do it. Now, that's about all I have. I just want to encourage everybody, young women and young men, to really reflect on themselves and think about how they can improve their marketability. And honestly, so that we can operate more harmoniously here as a culture group. I think that, for jumping back to young women really quick, just like I don't want young men to think that they are only nice or only a provider, they're only an ATM, I want you to also understand, young women, that you're great too. You're also very interesting. You also have hobbies. You also are more than just a table. I am sick and tired of hearing about this proverbial table that people keep talking about. You are better than that. Young men, you are more than just a nice guy, and you are more than a provider. Young women, you are more than a table, and you are more than a receptacle for children to come out of. You are more than that. You're better than that. Sit down, reflect, come up with, even write down a list of things that make you that you can talk about on dates with people or even just friends. You need to be able to pull this list out. It's just about being a functional human being, and it will make your life much easier, less stressful, and more fun. Because dating is fun, my guys. It's fun to learn about new people, and I think that I'm about at the end of the video here. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification, because I'm going to be making quite a few of these style of videos. So if you like them, keep tuning in. And also, I'm going to end by encouraging every single one of you to proactively take steps to improve yourself. Go work out more. Go develop a diet plan. Stick to it. Go come up with things that make you interesting as a person. Write down a list of your hobbies. Make yourself known. Make yourself powerful to yourself, for yourself. And have a nice day. Bye, everybody.